Will Fed rate cuts be delayed by scorching hot PPI inflation? We've got a lot to talk about here today. It is Thursday, August 14th, 2025. If you guys like the video, like the content, find it helpful, please give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Also, come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. It was kind of a boring day like yesterday, although we did have a little bit of action in the morning and made for a couple of good trades for us in the room. But nonetheless here, PPI coming in, like I said, scorching hot. So I think we had basically a 5 sigma beat almost. Yeah, 0.09 versus 0.2. Core beating by 0.6, so 3.7 versus 2.9. And jobless claims right in line. So obviously this took a hit. Bonds took a hit today. And the markets took a little bit of a dip early in the session, but it was immediately by the dip here. And we actually had a small short into the close yesterday. And we kind of just flipped that this morning. It wasn't really that damaging. And we just kind of hit the overnight low from Wednesday. And, this was not an impulsive sell. However, I have seen impulsive sells during OPEX week, but it's usually not very... it's not very common, right? Market's going to remain pinned. I talked about this in the morning video too. There was an iron condor kind of down at that low end. We hit that as well. SPY 642 was a little bit of a put wall. So not a lot of damage, not a lot of noise here, or I should say a lot of noise, not a lot of damage. And this is what happens here when volatility is so compressed here. But bonds did take a little bit of a dip. Markets are coming back up. There's also a few other things to cover here before we get into rate cuts. Sentiment, right? Big jump, well, not big jump in bears, but definitely a good decline in bulls. And this is high, right? 46.2. I mean, the historical average is 30. So definitely a jump in bears there. NAIM, actual positioning, dropped a little bit. It's still pretty elevated. And it peaked out twice recently. So it's still elevated, but it did drop a little bit. So, yeah, maybe we do have a little higher to go. I talked about this in Sunday night, the Sunday night video. I said 6,500 was a risk to the upside this week. And my theory was that we would need news to get there, but we just went up, right? So I guess just the positive gamma, positive delta is just that powerful right now. We do have news. I'll talk about that as well. Trump has been talking about Putin. He's been meeting. They'll be meeting tomorrow. And he's been chirping about, deal looks good, this and that and the other thing. So I've speculated that would be a risk to get us to 6,500. But we already got to 6,480 yesterday. So to me, okay, we got there. If we actually touch it or pierce it or whatnot, it's not really relevant. The point is Sunday night, or last Friday we were here, and what was that 63? Yeah, so we went up 100 points basically, right? We got there, so we could still go up higher. We could still gap up if we get any sort of really promising trade or peace deal news. So many deals right now. Peace deal news. I think the market will probably have a euphoric gap. It will probably be a sell the news, because 6,500 is just a brick wall. I was a little surprised, though. I thought that we could see possibly a move to 640. Maybe later today. We had a little bit of a dip in the morning. We rallied back, and I said, this could cause some complacency here. And we did start to dip. There was some interest down at 64.20 as well. Granted, the iron condor is down there at 35, but you can always spike it. So it looked to me like we almost wanted to go back to 640. Remember, I know the market is very positive right now. There's a lot of support, a lot of supportive flows, but there's also trillions in premium expiring tomorrow. So that does count too. And a lot of it's at 640. So we'll see. Maybe they pay it out and we go up to 650, 6,500. It's possible, especially if you get news. My kind of thought, though, was, the ideal setup to me was we dip here, maybe you slice 630, 6,300 on Tuesday, kind of recover a little bit Wednesday, and then Thursday, you kind of rally back a little bit, and then the big gap happens Friday night. So just really kind of stick everybody. But if we get that news, it could stick people anyway. I just don't see us going much past 65. That said, rate cuts, odds going down. I believe I read we had 67 bips on average priced in before today. It's now down to like 54. We were pricing in 3. We're pricing in 2 now. Rate cuts themselves. And 2-year down, right? So down 9 basis points on investment basis here on the ZT. We can go and take a look at the yields. Talk about them because they're important. Sometimes we just skip over them, but yeah, so reversal here and it's holding. But I don't think this is really going to, I mean, we're getting a September rate cut no matter what, unless something crazy happens. But again, you can see this defended this 360, 350 area multiple times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each time, though, after here has been a lower high, right? So we are losing momentum. So I do think this will eventually go. The question is, does the long end go the other way? That's the big question. I'll say this too. We had a TLT or TMF dip by, actually caught just off the low on Wednesday, and it was, or excuse me, Tuesday. Nice rally. We got a pop into that. We had a runner position with the trading room, and it's holding the PPI. I didn't care if it came back in because it was a runner. It's kind of like a lotto, but it did come back in pretty sharply. And I'll show you this here. Actually, let's use ZB. So normally I wouldn't even mind because you squeezed here. So you needed to fill this in anyway, right? And you hit a 786. So honestly, this is kind of just doing what it should do, which is just fill this area out. And on the daily, you still got, you could argue that's a nice bull flag there. We can flip over, there's ZT, same thing, 2 years stronger. Next week, though, we've had positive dealer flows in TLT for like 4 weeks. I think a lot of that's DK from out of the money puts. And next week, it starts to get a little bit more neutral, a little bit more weak. So I don't know, maybe the long end comes back. So that could be a problem for the market. We have Jackson Hole next week. Market will not be as supported then. So a lot of convergence going on here. That said, yeah, we're going to get the rate cuts. But that is a giant miss in PPI, gigantic. Now, the market didn't react. I'm not surprised it didn't do that because of all the vol pilling and vol suppression right now. But we're not going to have as much of that next week. So we'll see. Jackson Hole should be big. But right now, market's holding up. Another thing I noticed as well, even though IWM got hammered this morning, it bottomed at 12:30, and it's outperforming the Qs since then. In fact, the Qs kind of backed off over the last 2 hours. IWM going up, Dow going up too. So still seeing that dispersion. And as long as it holds 225 on any dips, I think it's okay. It might even sneak a surprise here and close the week at 230 for a pin. That is our LG1 for tomorrow. So that has the most amount of gamma and open interest. You guys know 6500's there. Let's actually take a look at it. We'll see if it converts. I gotta go back. Trying to give you this. There we go. So 64.50. We'll see if it converts though. A lot of calls went up there. So it's possible. It's definitely possible. I would still say I wouldn't be surprised to see it move down, but I think it kind of needed to happen in the afternoon. It kind of needed to get started. So I was kind of figuring 640 close for tomorrow, but I think it kind of needed to get started already, like this afternoon. Either way, it's not of any consequence. Anyways, without boring you guys here, 580 QQQ, 585 is still a cap right now. And the Dow, I think they'll close this at new all-time highs tomorrow. SMH, a little bit of an evening star, but let's not make too much out of it. I think 300 to 305 is it on that for now. IGV, very weak, notably. Very much an underperformer. And has been for 2 weeks. Transports backed off, but they came off the lows inside day. XHB backed off. It's had a ridiculous rally, so we'll give it that. IYR is still weak here too, down 55 cents. By the way, red this morning was only at 20%. And we were only down 25 basis points. Google, Netflix, and Amazon making up a lot of that. So hiding a lot of weakness. Netflix and Google. XLF up 23 cents. It's recovering. Respect it. KRE flat. So not terrible after the last 2 days. Broker dealers, nothing doing there inside day. Oil getting a bounce up 2 1/4. XLE dipped early but came back. So nothing terrible there. And yeah, if that can break back above here, that could look good. Dollar getting a bounce today too off the PPI. Again, pierced the trend line, it's holding. Gold backing off. I do like GLD at 305 tomorrow. At least for a pin. Silver retrace day as well. I don't have anything on that, but it's holding up well on the daily. Platinum trying here. So you got a bear flag, but inside of that is a kind of like a micro bull, and your trend is up. So I'll give it a slight upside bias here, slight. But platinum's thin, so I don't trust it. Palladium trying to rebound as well. And copper flirting with 250 again. So dip and then close back right at that area. Lastly, Bitcoin took a spill. It is off the lows, but that's basically, yeah, we'll see where it closes at tonight, but that's engulfing. So bears defending. Look at this fake out too. They close it above the tail candle, and then they just ripped it down. ETH, on the other hand, still, again, yeah, it's hitting that low here, but I mean, again, you have higher highs, higher lows here. So again, alt's still outperforming, whereas Bitcoin just made like a slight nominal high. So, yeah, 70 on IBIT, that's holding. Big dealer level for tomorrow. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. It could go either way. It's OpEx, so we'll see. I just think that if we were going to, my original thesis is that we would close at 640 tomorrow, but I think we needed to get started towards that by the end of the day. I mean, there's 30 minutes left, but I think we needed to get started towards that, because otherwise that's like I mean, it's only 50 points, but it would take a pretty good move to get there. We're definitely closer to 65 than we are to that. But anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here. Again, you guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com. See you guys all tomorrow.